Yeah. And, so,
Sure.
after she left, there were numerous times that we tried to reconcile. It never really got any better. At one point, she picked up a boyfriend,
Mm.
which is actually 6 months younger than my brother, and
Well,
also autistic, and just, I don't think
malleable.
he,
He's malleable.
yeah.
Independent, but malleable.
And
They
they
make each
are,
other happy.
they make each other happy, and I'm happy for them because of that. But they are, you know, not near us. But after that, like in that whole mess, Joseph went with mom, and
Because he felt that he's a very, very great, kind, wonderful hearted guy. And I admire him for that. But he went with her mom during this time and this whole debacle, for lack of a better word, because he didn't want her to be totally and completely alone. And sometime later, he made her totally aware of that, I guess. But, you know.
but he's been with her ever since. Doodle and Puppy went with her as well. Originally, it was just Doodle, but we had picked up 3 other dogs. We were worried with how they would mix. Later, we found out it would have been fine, but by then we'd already given Puppy to her,
And
and I
there
still
was.
regret it to this day.
Yeah, me too.
Um, there was a tremendous amount of loss in that entire situation.
The chickens, on a side note, um,
Two of them,
we were able to bring most of them all to
we took all of them with
to
us to Ohio.
no, most of them to Ohio. Two of them didn't make it. One of them didn't make it before the trip. The other one, no. Yeah, one of them didn't make it during the trip. Another one didn't make it a few weeks
Well,
later.
I know we had 10 and we ended up with 8.
Yes.
And those got sold to a hobby farmer, so
Yes,
those
he
they
was a
went to a
retired
better home than we
gentleman.
did, to be honest.
Yeah, actually, and it was bittersweet. I miss everything about them. I miss having them. I miss caring for them. But they
My
went to a
husband
better
is a
home.
chicken tender.
Yes. Yep.
But
But yeah, they went to a better home.
soon after mom moved out, I got very sick. My asthma was a wreck. I didn't know. I had to start on this big long journey of figuring out how to fix it and what I was allergic to. Turns out I can't have any dairy at all. And I found some herbal remedies that work because I am allergic to most medications that they use to control it.
Um,
And I ended up in a wheelchair for a while because I had another back injury, and
I
it's
did
a
as
really
well.
long story. He also did, so there was a couple times I think we were in wheelchairs at the same time,
Yeah, actually.
which was incredibly awkward.
And
And
difficult
um,
at best.
after a while, my dad moved in along with another roommate and our 3 dogs, and we were still living on a single income, and that was both fun and horrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
Then, gradually, as things started getting more intense, his brother moved out.
Moved back in with my parents, to be precise.
Yeah.
Which is great. He's doing wonderful.
He has
there.
his own, building, and he's really happy, which is good.
Yeah.
And the other roommate moved out last, and my dad
moved back to Alabama.
Yeah, that was kind of hard for me because
He's
there was some inward clashes, and I was trying to keep him from having to deal with that, and I ended up just making him feel alienated at the time.
Yeah.
We've since fixed it, I think, but
nominally so, I think.
But losing mom and his children, and basically he lost everything that gives someone self-respect and
pride and really any kind of strong, good feeling.
Yeah, and he now lives with his 2 brothers and his parents in Alabama, which is really hard for him because he's so far away and lonely. But he's doing better than mom. Mom and everybody are currently homeless in Virginia
Hmm.
with the 2 dogs and a large male cat.
Because they picked up a cat on one of their journeys.
In Ohio before
Yes.
they tried to make it in a shed and turn it into a house while living in it, and they got sick and they had to leave. They followed us here to Arizona at one point, and they were stalking the house, and that was another story.
Speaking of, we left Ohio and came to Arizona for a multitude of reasons. Um, namely,
Health.
namely health, finances, stability, security, as well as to distance ourselves as much as possible from her mother, because it just was really unhealthy. It got to the point where we were, actually scared to go out of the house. And
Yeah, he went into anaphylaxis at one point while we were there, so that was another thing. We didn't know what he was allergic to.
yeah, still don't exactly, because there's still a couple things that are a mystery, but we did narrow it down to few foods and some scents from pollens like trees and such.
Yeah.
Cottonwoods in particular. Really unpleasant. Beautiful trees, wonderful blooming seasons, but
Okay, we
for
get
me,
it.
so yeah.
We get it. Tone it down, baby. Okay, so after everything kind of concluded with the house in Georgetown, we decided for health, financial, logistical reasons to move to Arizona and with his grandparents, as well as for the fact that
they need help because
they're both 80 and they need someone to be with them.
At the time they weren't 80, they were 79, both of them, but they have since turned 80. Yeah.
Ever since we've been living here in Arizona in a suburb of Phoenix, it's definitely a departure for me. I still, like, when it cools down for winter, I still feel like it's spring.
Because nominally speaking, it pretty much is.
It's
in Arizona,
rough.
I was taught growing up, because I grew up out here, I was born and raised out here. It's basically summer, fall, winter, spring. Basically.
Yeah, but it was a huge adjustment. But we've been able to get the medical care we needed. We've been able to, I've been able to get therapy, which has been a massive help. We've been able to get straightened out faith-wise because, oh my goodness, was that a mess.
Oh, yeah.
It's just because we're both Christians, but at the time we didn't know what was Christian and what was pagan, and it was just this big, sorting out, hairs from, a pile, just this is this, and it was just painstaking.
And, yeah. And, not slamming anybody who believes any of the other things like paganism or Wiccanism or anything, insert here. It's what we connect with enough as far as Christianity. It makes the most sense to us.
Okay, so right now we're in Arizona, but the plan is that based on different circumstances, if they pass or if something happens, the grandparents pass, that is, or if something happens where we can't stay because Phoenix is I think it's the number 1 worst city for inflation in America or something.
According to recent statistics, but how recent we're unsure because that tends to change monthly, if not weekly.
Yeah, but the point is, if, when something happens that things have to change, we are going to be relocating to Pennsylvania. His mom and dad are there, and they have a trailer that we can live in.
Well, it's not really a trailer, it's a guest house.
Well, they call it the guest house, but isn't it like a single wide?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Well, it's something...
It's a modular, I think. Which is not technically a trailer, but it's...
It's close enough. It's a house-ish thing.
Yeah.
And it's some, obviously there'd be, the whole, helping out and stuff thing, but it's a more country setting. We could have a couple chickens. I could grow something. Nice. Not go outside and turn into, a piece of bacon instantly. The sun! I have not been coping with the desert very well. I have been
No.
thankful for the time of rest and getting things pulled together. I'm sure that you've noticed I managed to actually rebrand Shire Homestead and not just like leave it with all of the weird stuff. And I'm trying to explain this mess, and I'm sure that I could have done it better. We could have done it better, but
Definitely.
it was such a messy experience to begin with that the idea of trying to put it into something sensical on the internet can sometimes be daunting in and of itself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
while we're here, our homestead content is going to be smaller stuff. Like, I'm planning on doing something about the fence we had to put up in the backyard, or
Yeah.
cooking, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe even some like homestead style frugality type thing. Maybe book reviews of self sufficiency or something. That would be something I could do.
Yeah.
But as far as actual homestead content here, we're kind of limited because Arizona is under a huge water shortage, so we can't exactly be growing a lot of things.
There's that, and also we kind of live in the city
Yeah.
with my grandparents at the moment, so there's not a whole lot of homesteading you can do when homesteading in this particular part of Arizona has more or less hasn't really happened for I think about 100 years now.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, you still will find some people with horse pastures, but it's more that the city just kind of built around them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because like the wind comes one way, you get Burger King, and the wind comes the other way, you get manure. It's very strange.
What's really strange is when the wind comes from both ways and
Yeah.
you get both, and then you're wondering what happened at the Burger King.
Oh dear. But
talk about that mystery meat. Sorry. That's a blooper.
the point is that we have plans to be somewhere where stuff like that is more accessible in the future, but for right now, it's going to be a little bit more limited. I would welcome any suggestions in the comments of stuff you would like to see. But, you know, like for instance, sometimes I will make bread. I have had to start cooking a lot more because
I have a salt and soy intolerance, and
as
unfortunately between the both of those, I can eat a whopping 4 things, and that is also limited on veggies, because depending on how it's prepared or kept, there is both salt and or soy in them. So.
And I can't have dairy or mangoes. I found out that I'm very, very allergic to mangoes.
I also found out I am very, very allergic, severely allergic to guava. So.
Yeah.
No tequila. Sad.
No, that's agave, honey.
Oh.
Tequila's safe.
I thought it was the same type of.
No.
Well.
Guava is something. Guava is something like a mango. It's like a tree fruit. But it's like a tropical fruit, so we're not going to be eating anything in Hawaii, apparently.
Well, again, sad, but that's okay.
Going to McDonald's in Hawaii if we ever go. Yeah. That was a joke, dear. Or bringing a large bag of rice. Anyway. It's going to be strange, but I hope that you guys will still enjoy the content. I might put together some different videos explaining or expounding on what happened while we were in the Shire, because there was a lot of footage I didn't get to use from the format that I was told to use. And by the way, a lot of the reason that it was so chaotic is because we went there expecting to pioneer it and to,
and
hoof it.
Just for those who don't know, this was way before me, 1 and 2 years before me.
Yeah, this was 2017. 2018 area.
Yeah.
But train of thought.
It was chaotic because you went there expecting to homestead it and build up something from nothing.
Yeah, we went there expecting to be able to build a house and stuff, but the weak point was really our family unit. There was a lot of miscommunication. There was mishaps with the budget. Mom got tick fever. There's a video about that. But
Lone
she...
Star ticks are evil.
Yes. They... It's just... the family unit was starting to break down even then.
Mm-hmm.
And they got into I don't know how many fights over it. And Dad was wanting to build it in ways that were very, like 21st century, like, we need a nail gun for this, we need this for that, and a generator, all the tools and the gadgets, which if that had been what we were going to do, that would have worked out. But
and it could have worked out, but again, there was a conflict of interests in how to do it.
And then Mom was wanting to do the more earthen building route, which again would have worked if there had been familial cooperation. And
don't ever, just as a quick pro tip, you don't ever go into a homesteading situation without next levels of communications and patience with the people you're doing it with.
And a set plan.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have backups, but you really need to be malleable, because not everything is going to work out. It's not all sunshine and roses. It's very challenging.
Yeah. And now we have, I'll put a picture up here, we have 3 hound dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hounds.
Hounds.
The mom is the one with pointed ears.
And
she's Jack Russell Corgi Husky something.
Yeah.
She bred with a purebred golden retriever, and the other 2 came out.
Yeah.
Along with 6 others.
Yes.
Or no?
Technically 7 others.
6. 7 counting the one that died, but...
Yeah.
So we have 3 dogs. They're precious, they're smart.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely not city dogs,
No.
but they're getting better.
Yeah.
Slowly. I mean, they still bark at every pigeon.
Not quite as much, but yeah.
Okay, every other pigeon.
Yeah.
But, things have definitely changed.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely gotten into a better mental place.
I've matured as much as humanly possible.
Well, your personality is just very youthful, so that's notwithstanding. But
yeah.
You're not going neener at me all the time.
And I'm also not being so meathead-tastic. Oh, I need to build things. Oh, I need to destroy things.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania, we're hoping to have a garden and chickens and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely will be a little bit more OG homesteading, because right now it's more...
Original gangster. That's what OG means, sweetie.
Oh, I thought it meant original.
No. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. To kind of quote Weird Al Yankovic with Amish Paradise.
The scary part is it's coming back to my mind all the times I've said that thinking it was original and not original gangster, and how stupid I must sound.
They see me riding my lawnmower and they hating me. I guess. I don't know, I butchered that horribly.
There's a lot of strange humor in this house, but it's more healthy than none.
Yeah.
But that's just about it. There will be different levels of content coming out. Any type of suggestions or comments or questions you have are always welcome. I'm going to start doing at least weekly blog posts, if not to just give you guys an idea of what we're doing and how we're doing it. We still have Patreon. You're welcome to get on there if you want to. I will figure out things to post and to make
it more exclusive and worthwhile. That's a whole rejiggering process of making sure that the content is going to be genuine and more frequent and
the hardest part really is just it was the hump getting over to where we have to explain all of this, and the fact that, oh, this is, like the skeleton that we've been trying to keep mashed in the closet for the past 3 and a half, 4 years. It's just...
I don't know if it's been that long.
Well,
It's been closer to 2, I think.
Well, not just since you, but since the beginning of the
2.
Shire homestead.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it has been quite sporadic.
And, I didn't want to disappoint you guys. And, I didn't want to seem like I was just trying to make drama, because I'm not.
No, no. This is all very real, and as much as we are able to, we're trying to be as honest, open, and as respectful about this as we can, really. Uh, there's still a lot of trauma involving most of everything, especially since I've arrived, um, that we're still healing and processing. So just to be honest with you, from our family to yours, and whomever else is watching this.
But there will be more content in the future.
Yeah.
If you guys would be interested, I have a lot of footage of the drive up here from Ohio, because we drove, and it was quite interesting.
Yes. Yeah, I don't even think Bilbo would have enjoyed that venture.
I'm sure that gallivanting across Middle Earth, with a bunch of dwarves was equally as disconcerting.
At times, I'm sure. Definitely the same level of vulgarity.
Well, I suppose if you get into the stuff with Thorin, it gets into the mental illness too, especially after he goes bug nuts for the Arkenstone. But
yeah.
yes, we're Lord of the Rings and Lotro nerds.
Oh, so, yes. Big time.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So, yeah.
We're nerdy homesteaders. But we've always, we met on Lotro, so.
Yeah.
Shire Homestead is oddly poignant in that.
Yep.
But we hope that you have a great and wonderful day. Please subscribe for more of this craziness, and
don't forget to hit the bell and comment
and like, and look at all the social media profiles, all 6,000 of them.
Not quite that
many, I think there's 4 or 5 or something.
And above all else, we hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year.
Merry Christmas!
Peace!